Hello guys, Melindon on the mic, here with another video playing Martial Deeds, aka Blackbeard. This is my current tech list. I have tried some of them in the past few weeks and also shared them with you guys. I'm also currently trying again with Manseri and Chuck, but at the moment not in the ranked games, because I first want to see how this deck performs against normal, let's say normal players, and then I will bring it also to the ranked system, record some games and show them to you guys. But currently I'm using this list, Shockwave, because of the matches against many decks like mirror mats, like Don Flamingo, like so pretty much every deck, also against Lucci. And we will see today some games against Lucci players. So how do you play Blackbeard against Lucci? Let's find that out. We will set up the speed to +2. And we begin. Of course, the first hand was not the best one, so we mulligan, and let's see what we play. So he chooses to go second, of course. We didn't have anything to play at our first turn, and he played Helmeppo with his 2 dons. So what we do here is we play our Lafitte and our Doku, and then we attack him and black hole him, because we don't want to lose our guys against the Brook, or let's say against the Lucci. If he plays here Lucci, it's like TCG, because we lose both of them. And this is exactly what he plays here. He plays a Lucci. So be careful, guys. You play in the beginning like small characters, so you need to black hole him if you have the feeling that he will use such characters, or if you begin to play small characters. So of course on our first turn we play our Van Aegir on curve, and we KO his Lucci, and we attack with our Blackbeard. Then we black hole him again, because there are many possibilities here. He could play, let's say, another Lucci, or he could play a Brook or something like that. He KOs our Doc using his Helmeppo. He still has 6 remaining dons, and he wants to clear my board. What he does. We are now at 7 don, I think. Yeah, at 7 don. So what we do here is he has only 1 Helmeppo, so we are not scared at all, and we want to establish some board. The first thing to do here is, of course, to KO his Helmeppo using our leader, and also search with our Lafitte another character. So we search, and we get 1 10 cost Teats, because we're at 7 don, so we're close to, or we need only 2 rounds to reach our 10 don turn. And then we play Jesus. We establish a big body, because this body cannot be KO'd from Lucci. Then we play our stage, and we start recycling. Of course, it's his 8th turn now. We black hole. We don't want him to play any Gekomori and get some value out of it, which he plays, because he is like, okay, I'll just get value of having a big body. And this is where he is wrong at this point, because we are at 9 don. And what we can do here is, of course, we attack with our leader. Then we KO immediately his big character, we recycle a card to buff our Jesus, and we attack with our Jesus. We are at 4 cards, 4 life cards, I mean. And here, that was also a misplay, as you saw. I should have flashed first a card and then attack with it. Okay, it was highly unlikely that he would sacrifice 2 2Ks at that point, because he's at 4 life, and maybe that was my thought at that time. Or maybe I wanted to bait him to give me 2 cards. I think that was a point, but maybe he's crazy enough and give you 3 cards instead of 2. Who knows? So first trust, then attack. So we have now 2 bodies. He has no characters at all. We have a Teach waiting for the next round. He decides to attack our Laboon here. So of course we counter with 1k, because he can't KO anything at that point, only if he uses a Jack, which he does not seem to have at that point. And what he does here is he plays 2 Rebecca's. So 2 Rebecca's, fine by me. I will nullify one of them. I will ditch my second. Ditch with stage. Keep buffing my Jesus and maybe find a better card. And I wanted anyway to black hole, you know. So it didn't matter if it was a Teach or another card. I would do it anyway. So I attack with all of my characters. I attack with my Laboon. I attack with my leader. I attack with my Jesus. He's black hole. His only character that is a Rebecca cannot do anything at all now. He decides, okay, I will attack you with everything that I got and get at least your Jesus here. So we hit a blocker, and of course here is the decision to make. How do we play? I attach 5 ton to my Laboon and attack with 10k. He takes, and then I attach the remaining to my Blackbeard. I take his blocker. Then of course we attack also with our Marshall Teach, and we black hole him for the next turn, and it's a GG, because even if he plays here another let's say blocker and KO something of mine, well, he can only KO one of my characters and play a blocker, so that wouldn't be enough. So let's see another game. Let's go to the second game. He chooses to go seconds. I tend to lose almost every dice roll nowadays. This is our hand after the mulligan, I think, or before the mulligan. Anyways, we have a Lafitte, we have Laboon, we have a Jesus, we have another search. It's okay. So we play our Lafitte with search, grab a Jesus, we attack. Why did we do that? Why did we play that way? That's for you, but that's so you know. Of course, because if he hit here an Ice Age, he could KO my Lafitte for free, for example, or a Seagun or something like that. And maybe he wanted to use that so that he will hit me twice on the next turn, and I don't want to give him too many cards early in the game. So first we search, then we hit, and then we search again with our second Lafitte. And we grab our dog Q. The game goes on. He can KO, of course, both of our Lafittes, which he does not do. And what he does here is he attacks us, and then he KOs both of our Lafittes using his Lucci. And this is exactly the point that I want to show you here, and about the previous video, because in the previous video I did black hole him before his 4-tone, and he played a Lucci anyway, and he couldn't KO anything of mine, and now both of the Lafitte's are gone. So remember, Lucci has also characters like Rob Lucci that can KO your small characters. So you might want to black hole him before that turn. Of course, you always need to pay attention on his trash, because in order to do that, he needs to have some cards in his trash, and he needs to return these cards to his deck, and maybe he needs also these cards. So pay attention also to the trash of your opponent when you play against Lucci. So at that point, I was like, I don't have any reducer, so I will establish a body and attack you. And this is exactly what I do here. So then he attacks me, he's black hole. We get to draw another docu, and we get to hit the trigger, a C-gun, and we KO his Lucci for free, which is awesome. And then he plays a Brook. We hate Brook. Why do we hate Brook? Because Brook does not only have an on-play ability, but he also have a when attacking ability. And he can KO things even when he's attacking. So remember that. Even if he has 4k attack and this Hin has 5k, his Brook is like also you don't want this character on your opponent's field. So we play our stronger, we reduce him, and then we play our second dog to this Brook as well. We hit him for 5k. We are now at 7 done, so our next turn we can play our 2 Jesuses if we are lucky, or 1 Jesus and 1 Van Agur, and then on our 10 done we can of course play our Blackbeard. He first clears our Lafitte using his Pandin, his Black Hole, so he can't KO anything yet, only with Jack for example, because he has activated main, and this is exactly what he does. Use his Jack. So now I first check his deck to see what he has here, and unfortunately for us, as you can see here, our Van Agur can reduce only 3, and this Jack has a cost of 11. So just forget about KOing this Jack with your effects, because it's almost impossible. Only if you have a black hole and you nullify this Jack, you will be able to do that, or if you play like a Blackbeard, 10 cost Blackbeard, you nullify his effect here, then he's a 7 cost, and you have, let's say that you have 2 Van Agur on your field and a Doku, and then you KO him that way. So pay attention, Jack is, because of his ability, an 11 cost character. So at that point, this Lucci is pretty good against us, because he has like 3 life. We're only at 2 life. We managed to KO his two characters with our dogs, his 2 Spandines with our dogs, and then I was like, okay, you have 5 cards. So you know what? I will go for your Jack, and then black hole him. Don't forget to black hole him here. If you forget to black hole him and he plays a Gecko Moria, the value from only 1 card is huge. So at that point he decides to attack us again we take, and we are now at 1 life. And then he was like, okay, now I will go wide. And this is where we also hit this card here, the Shockwave. The Shockwave protects us also. Can also be used to protect. However, we need to establish our bodies here. And we also need to be able to defend ourselves. So what I decide here to do is to play my Tenko Stitch. Of course I black hole him and one of his characters cannot attack. Now he sacrificed 2 of his dons and then he leaves 8 don. 8 don plus 4 for Khalifa if he decides to attack us with Khalifa. 12. I take because he doesn't have any card like Toffee to be able to bypass my blockers. I was like, okay, let's see what he plays. And then he plays a Kaku. I was like, okay, you are still on 3 life, and I have a huge blocker on my field and 2 dog cues. It doesn't seem perfect for us. It looks bad, but it doesn't look really bad here. So the play here is I first attack him because he's only 3 cards, he takes. Then I don't hit him with my Teach, I just freeze his Kaku. I was like, okay, go for it. Let's go for it because I have some counter in my hand. I have 4 counter in my hand. And if he does not manage to kill me this turn and kill one of my Blackbeards on the next turn, and to do that he needs to sacrifice all of his dons. And if he does not do that, on my next turn I will go 12, 12, 15 or 13, 13, 13 to you. So he attacks with 7 now, and I was like, okay, 7, let's see 7. I got 4 counter in my hand. So if he decides to go against 7 with one of his Khalifas, he needs to invest 3 don and then he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 don left. 5 plus 4, 9, and I have 7, 8, 9 here. Exactly. So I was like, this is not good for me if you do it that way. And this is me counting here the dons and doing the math. I was like, okay, let's see how you do it. How you will do it. And however, if he goes for 7 here, I could also possibly counter that with 2 and 1k. And that could mean that the last hit with 8k, I could block that with my Blackbeard. And this is exactly what he thinks here. So he's like, okay, 7k might be easy for you to counter. But how about let's say a bigger hit? How about 8k? And he attacks me with 8k. Of course, I do the math and I was like, okay, now you can hit me only with 8k and I have 9k to defend myself. So I was like, okay, fair enough, go for it. I block and I counter. And of course at that point it's GG, because no matter what he does, I was like, okay, 5 cards, I will go 12, and then I was like, okay, I will go 13 now. Of course, he takes again, and 14 for the final hit here. And he's not able to counter that. Okay, let's go for the final game against Lucci. Let's speed things up a little bit. So, what happened here is, let me see it again. Okay, so I chose to go here second. He plays his pandan first. I play my dog Q and I immediately get rid of his pandan because I don't want 2 hits on my face on his second turn. Then he kills my dog Q and I embrace it because I get to get a card, extra card. Then I was like, okay, I will hit you now with 5. And I will play my Lafitte. I will grab another Lafitte and I will keep searching. I will keep searching. So I grab now a dog Q because I want to be ready to KO something of his. I was like, okay, you know what? If you want to play at that moment, Rob Lucci and KO my 2 Lafittes, go for it, because I will be able to KO your Lucci next turn, and you will have to return all of your cards back to your deck. He decides here to attack me face and play his Lucci here, and it's fine by me at that point, because on my next turn I was like, okay, now I will KO you, your Lucci, and I will also attack you, which I do, and black hole him, because okay, 1 Lucci was enough, but I can't afford more of them. So on that point, let's see what happens. He's now at 7 Dawn, and I have 2 cards on my field. I have 2 cards that can KO anything, almost anything that he plays. The first thing that he does is he kills my Laboon, and then he plays a Kaku. Unfortunately, I didn't have a 2K at that point, so I couldn't do anything about that. But I am at 8 Dawn, I can KO his Kaku Zigan and establish another huge body, my Jesus Purges. And now it starts with his Kaidos. So he plays his first Kaido and he trusts my Jesus. Not KO, he trusts my Jesus. And not only he trusts my Jesus, he establishes also a huge body in the field. I was like, okay, interesting. Of course, now it's time for our Blackbeard, our first Blackbeard. We black hole him, we play our Blackbeard. Look at that. He plays 2 Ice Ages and a Jack. 2 Ice Ages and a Jack. And guess what happens to our Blackbeard? He dies. Now we are at like 3 cards. We are at 3 cards with no Blackbeard, but with a dog cube. I was like, okay, you know what? You have only 3 cards, because in order to do that, so don't forget that, guys. Lucci can also trust things or KO your big bodies by using his Ice Ages and stuff, but in order to do that, he sacrifices many resources, and we need always to take advantage of that. And this is exactly what we are gonna do here. So I was like, okay, you have only 3 cards, right? You can't defend your Jack. You can't defend your Jack. So I will kill your Jack and I will play Vasco. I'm still healthy with 4 cards. And of course we black hole him, because if you don't black hole him, he will play his Gecko Moria like now, and it's game over. So he plays his Moria, and now we are at a point where we play Elafit. I was like, okay, I don't need a 10 cost Blackbeard at this point. I need my Jesus. I need my savior. So I play my Jesus and I attack him with 9k. And as you can see here, guys, we have a blocker, 4 life, and a Jesus, which is great. And guess what he plays now. So first, a Tempest Kick to do a -3 to our Jesus. And of course, he plays another Jack. Another Jack to KO our Vasco. So now we don't have any blocker left. And he was like, okay, do I want to go for life? Of course I want. And he attacks us also with his 2 big bodies here. So he has a Kaido, he has a Gecko, and he has a Jack on the field. And our trigger doesn't matter. And our next card that we draw doesn't matter. But also don't forget at this point that your opponent has 2 life. And Lucci can also brick. What do we have here? We have 3 bodies. So we attack with 7, he takes. We attack with 8, he takes. We trust 1 card to buff our Jesus more. We attack 9 and we win. We win because his last card might have been a 2k, like Khalifa, but it was not enough. So against Lucci, be careful, because he can trust things by using Kaido, like your Burgess, like your Jesus, and he can also KO your characters at some point if he manages to play his Jack with some other characters. And of course, if he manages also to establish a Moria, then he has a big body, which is really hard to get rid of. But anyway, like I always say, you need to establish bodies with this deck. Doesn't matter if your bodies are like a dog queue, for example, like here. As you can see, our dog queue won the game here because we hit 7, 8, 9, and this is exactly the number that we needed, because as you can see his cards, he had 2k, we attack with 7, he takes, it's a Kaido, no counter. We hit with 8, he takes, it's a Khalifa, he's not, 9k, and then we attack with 9k again. So no matter if your board has small characters, they can also do damage to your opponent. This is my advice to you. So guys, hit the like button if you want to, if you liked what you saw. Write me down in the comment section below what you think about this deck, what I did wrong, what I did correctly, what would you do differently. If you have also any requests about me doing videos and such stuff. Thank you all for watching one more time. Peace. Bye.